There's no point denying it, the Vaccinator has fallen off to the side for the longest time. Not that it isn't a good idea or anything, but up until now, the other options have just been so much better in so many different ways, making it kind of as worthless as American Idol for the deaf. But after the facelift it got, I'm not so sure. I used to think the Quick Fix was the best metagun for pubs, but at this point, it's pretty possible that the Vaccinator has changed that. And while I hate having my previous conceptions become roadkill, I've never been happier to see something changed. In my last pre-buff Vaccinator video, I talked about how I really like the Vaccinator. I just wish I could use it without it being a death sentence. Well, fortunately for me, that's become a different story, and oh dear God, I'm so glad it has. So, the new and improved Vaccinator has the following stats. Plus 67% ubercharge rate, minus 33% ubercharge rate on overhealed patients, and minus 66% overheal build rate, and press your load, semantic, whatever. To be fair though, it's not quite that different than what it was before, but through only minor tweaks they've managed to create what is quite possibly my new favorite metagun. But what, pray tell, makes the Vaccinator so good this time around? It's still got that pesky overheal penalty, and it's still absolute garbage at keeping anyone from going caveman on your ass. Well, yeah, it still has those flaws, but now they're much more justified. During the Tough Break update, the overheal uber build penalty was cut in half like a bad magician's assistant, and the rate of gain for ubercharge has been beefed up some sort of arbitrary number. I think it was, 17%. But they also removed the health gain on correct resistance, which I kind of thought was a little unnecessary. I mean, I liked that, that was cool, but whatever. That's not what makes this money hose awesome. The metagun passively blocks 10% of incoming damage as long as you're healing somebody, meaning that the sniper facial no longer means instant death. hang on, allow me to repeat that. Headshots no longer mean instant death for the medic. Obviously you just got shot in the face, but on the bright side, even though your health is about 135 points less than the last time you saw it, you're alive at least. And while, sure, it may not help you much in the way of more charged up shots, and it can give you a slight chance of survival. Any fight you can successfully throw in the fuck it bucket is a win for the medic. The passive resistances also have a wonderful feature for granting bonus ubercharge for any damage you happen to block, which makes Afterburn a farm worthy of any sick dog on planet Earth. Oh damn, that one made me sad. Oh. Anyway, this all goes in the way of gaining that wonderful precious juice that keeps everyone alive and out of the coroner's office, ubercharge! Now, there seems to be this serious tragedy of players underestimating the Vaccinator's charge. That 75% damage resistance might not seem like that much of an advantage to those who aren't smarter than the average bear, but considering how often they come around and apparently the lost fact that you gain an extra 2 seconds of uber time compared to the stock, it's a pretty impressive feature. To those like me who aren't math majors, all damage is knocked down to about a quarter of its original strength, which has the potential to absolutely shut down most classes. Soldiers will either need a beggar's bazooka or a shotgun to counter an explosive resistance due to the fact that they can't lay down rockets fast enough to counteract it. Demo men will need at least 3 seconds to carpet the floor with enough stickies to detonate you. Scouts are out of luck unless they feel like slapping you with a dead fish is the right move. Snipers, other medics, and if done right, even NGs and their little pillow forts are all at a loss with the right charge. The only real concern for the hot coffee is high DPS classes like Pyro and Heavy, which luckily are much less of a threat at a distance. With that 2.5 seconds of ubercharge, stickies on the point are like global warming, completely made up and totally not a problem. In fact, those things you assume are sticky bombs are actually just weather balloons. This Doctor's Bubble Wand also has a beautiful bonus of a life-saving crit resistance. This grants total 100% immunity to things like Kritzkriegs and the always fair and balanced random crits. Not only that, but the Phlogastrobaitor and the Sack Burner have met their match, as the damage boost granted by both might as well be pissed in the wind.
But I'm not done yet!
The crit immunity does something incredible for the medic and his patient. Sniper immunity. Well, immunity might be too strong of a word, but it might as well be the right description. With the bullet resistance charge activated, you can absorb sniper bullets like high velocity fucking Tic Tacs. After popping your Uber cherry, the Vaccinator can take a fully charged sniper headshot and reduce what would normally have done 450 damage and take it down to 38, which not only can protect you from great, absolute skilled snipers, but also the terrible snipers, or to use the game's term, aimbots. The Ambassador headshots too are just pitiful against the Vaccinator charge, and as long as you have an Uber up your sleeve, you can be ready for anything. And here's where the Vaccinator's colors truly shine. Thanks to the last update, you always have Uber. You can get that delicious damage denying power in as little as 6 seconds, even less if you're getting damage match bonuses. This has made survival as a medic 1,000 million bajillion Trump-billion times easier, because when the FNAF hits the fan and you're getting run down by a scout, there's finally something you can do besides just die. Those 2.5 seconds could help you get to your team no problem at all. But there's a price to pay for such strength. As I said before, the metagun does squat against melee attacks, and more importantly, you are still 100% vulnerable to spies, even though your charges are gonna be protecting you from pretty much everything else. Probably the biggest weakness with the Vaccinator though is it's susceptible to focus fire. The other team's own coordination of multiple damage types might leave you with a bit of a hiccup in your plans. When you're getting shot at by bullets, rockets, bombs, fire, and low self-esteem substitute teachers, there's only so much the Vaccinator can shield you from. And even in situations where you are able to match and deflect the damage in time, you only have 2.5 fucking seconds. Unless you have extra charges, you only have 2.5 seconds to do something about it. The clock is ticking, Dr. Strangelove. This metagun is the anti-pocket healer, meaning that there isn't supposed to be one primary target, but instead juggling between two or more. Unfortunately, as a result, there's a much higher skill level with this than most other metaguns. Being efficient at applying the right defenses necessary takes a bit of practice, which seems to be the reason most people dismiss it as the lesser of the medic's arsenal, which is by no means true, of course. The advantages it has are pretty significant, and it is finally able to be considered a viable metagun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is ArraySeven, and this has been an analysis of the post-buff Vaccinator. I hope you all have a wonderfully handsome rest of your day.
I'm the invincible, undefeated champion. Mount Zion's my ancestors, Camp of Lions. Star of David, nah, the thought of stardom. Martyrdom and done crumbs left to the dumb thumb. To this play button, glutton of words. Mutton, birds of fly to fly to you, dropping turds. Hopping up on ignorance to feel how your mighty pop up the real. Dance the visual, cry to deity. Pious piety might it be to see is truly